Hey guys, what's going on? Dr. Frank here, founder of Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching Programs. And in today's brief video, I want to take some time and talk about Delta 8 THC products. What are they? Are they safe? Is it something you should be consuming? And if you got a problem with it, how do you quit? Here at Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching, we help people quit nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and pornography. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you like today's video. Now, I'm going to kind of riff and rant on this topic because it has me very upset. I've been sounding the alarm as someone who is pro-cannabis, by the way. I have been sounding the alarm on Delta 8 products now for a long time, and I've been getting ripped on. And now I think what we're going to start to see is major problems coming out of this. And we're going to talk about those problems. So the first thing I want to do is I'm just going to list a bunch of bullet points for you. And if you don't want to listen to the rest of the video, you don't have to. But hopefully you're going to get something from these bullet points. And then I'm going to explain them in the rest of the video. Okay. Almost all Delta 8 is sold outside of a state licensed facility and a state regulated facility. What does that mean? Delta 8 products have no regulation on them whatsoever. And I'm not one who's all for state and government regulation. I think a lot of it's ridiculous. But when it comes to something that you're consuming, gas stations and vape shops don't go by the same standards that a state regulated marijuana facility goes by. And that's a huge problem, because these products aren't tested for solvents. These products aren't tested for heavy metals. These products aren't tested for thickeners. So you have no idea what you're buying. The packaging may as well be off of Alibaba, which many of these packages do come from sources like that. So it can say, just like we had dank vapes, third-party tested, blah, 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 organic, natural, solvent-free. It means nothing. Without state regulations, without legitimate testing, it means absolutely nothing. That's problem number one. Problem number two, as of June 2nd, the U.S. Cannabis Council, the Council on Cannabis, pro-cannabis groups, pro-cannabis manufacturers came out and said, this is the verge of a crisis. That was just recently on June 2nd. You have pro-cannabis people calling this a crisis. This is a danger, and I've been saying this from day one. If you support cannabis, you will not support Delta 8 consumption from a gas station, because it's harming the legitimate cannabis shops. One, it's giving them a bad name. It's giving weed a bad name. And two, what the manufacturers of Delta 8 do is they get around all these costly state regulations. So while your local cannabis shops are stuck under state regulations, these guys are busy flying under the radar, and it's actually harming the cannabis industry. Problem number four, inhaling contaminants. Many Delta 8 cartridges contain little to no actual Delta 8 THC upon testing, and there is a concern that we're going to see a repeat crisis like we saw with the black market THC cartridges back in 2019 before COVID was a thing. Remember when there was those 2,700 hospitalizations and 63 deaths from the vape crisis? It had nothing to do with vaping. It had to do with the thickeners and the vitamin E oils added to the black market THC cartridges. I can almost guarantee you we're on our way to seeing the exact same thing with Delta 8 products. I bet it's happening right now, and it's just not being reported because doctors are unaware of what's going on in the hospital settings. Okay, history always repeats itself. In April 2021, the Cannabis Council purchased 16 Delta 8 cartridges. This is what they found. Most contained illegal amounts of THC, so they were actually qualified as weed products. Many had chromium, copper, nickel, and lead. These are heavy metals, okay? What symptoms of heavy metal toxicity? Let's go through that. Diarrhea, nausea, abdominal pain, vomiting, shortness of breath, chills, weakness, numbness, and tingling in the hands and the feet. So here I might have a bunch of people thinking they have cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome. And now I have to ask myself, is it CHS? Or has this person been consuming vapable CBD products, vapable Delta 10, vapable Delta 8 products? And is there actually concern for heavy metal toxicity? Do I now have to start running heavy metal panels on people when I'm doing this testing? I think that's something we're going to have to start doing based on the literature that's now coming out, which doesn't shock me. Okay? The solvents being used. These are the chemicals that are used in the process of separating the Delta 8 from the CBD. So this is where you're now removing a trace amount of cannabinoid, and that's important because Delta 8 is present in a cannabis plant in a very, very tiny amount, okay? And if you respect cannabis, you respect the fact that it's in a tiny amount, okay? Now, what we're doing is we're taking that, we're isolating it. We're creating a synthetic version of it, and we're consuming it in massive quantities. Here's my question. What is that going to do to your endocannabinoid system? And someone under the age of 25, where your endocannabinoid system plays a significant role apparently in brain development, gastrointestinal health, neurological system health. What is that going to do when we consume that? We know what cannabis does with all the terpenes, all the THC, all the CBD. What about that concentrated thing? We have no idea. No idea. So this concerns me because so many people are being sold this product, being told, oh, it's going to help you with your anxiety. It's a safe alternative, when it's the exact opposite. It's actually a massive science experiment that illegitimate companies are having you as a guinea pig for. And it sounds like I'm yelling at you guys on this because I fell for this with the black market THC products. And now we're seeing people fall for the same lie again. History repeats itself. 2019, black market THC products, 2,700 hospitalizations. We're falling for the same type of packaging, the same type of marketing, just with a different substance. Okay? What are some of these solvents that are coming up? Hexane, menthol, dichromyl, methane, ethyl acetate, heptane, acetone, isopropanol. Bad stuff. Stuff that you would not want to be inhaling. When you go to a dispensary, they're testing for all of these things. Now, even worse, there was a lab, ProVerde. They tested thousands of Delta 8 products. And this lab said there was not one legitimately identifiable Delta 8 product, not one legitimate product that they called Delta 8. On top of that, they identified up to 30 other things, literally things, unidentifiable things in their lab testing as creating spikes in the testing on the PCR or whatever it is. Unidentifiable. The labs are coming out saying, listen, we're going through Reddit. We're going through forums of how people are talking about making Delta 8, and we don't even have the equipment to test for these solvents. So, furthermore, they can't even tell you what's in these things. We had a patient call up, hey, can you test this product for me? No, because I don't know. The labs don't know what to do because these companies are not required, because they fall in this gray area, to state what they're using as a solvent, to talk about their extraction process. They don't have to say anything. All they have to do is buy a package off Alibaba, stuff it with whatever, sell it to a gas station or a vape shop that isn't aware, an unaware vape shop. I don't think these places are intentionally hurting anyone. And then this is the situation that you run into. But I want you guys to consider what you're getting involved with. Now, if you're watching this video, there's a good chance that you have developed an addiction to carts, whether that's THC cartridges and Delta 8 cartridges, or you're just addicted to Delta 8. And what I need you to understand, because you're going to be sitting there confused saying, God, how did this happen? How am I addicted to weed? This is not weed. This is unknown. This is I don't know exactly what the withdrawals are going to look like. I'm going to guess they're probably similar to regular weed. First 3 to 5 days are going to be rough. You have a kind of roller coaster ride with your mental health. And then after about 2 weeks, you get to the 3-month mark, you're going to be feeling much better. But if you're going through Delta 8 withdrawal and you're detoxing from heavy metals and other solvents, that might be annoying. Like, that might be a rough time. All I know is this. It took time before the black market carts hit the media with the deaths and the vaping injuries and the lung injuries. We're quickly approaching that with the Delta 8 products. Many states are acting, and it's a good thing, guys, that they're banning this stuff because this is what damages weed. I have been saying this since day one on TikTok. If you're pro 420, you're not going to partake in this stuff because this is what's going to damage the pro 420 movement. If we're going to do it, let's do it right. But now what we're stuck with is a lot of people with a lot of problems with cannabis watching my channel. I was one of those people, okay? I'm trying to prevent that in the future for the Pro 420 community, and I'm trying to help you guys at the same time who are currently having problems with this stuff because you fell for the same lie that I did when it comes to these products. And this isn't going to be, you're going to see Delta 10 coming out soon. You're going to see acetone THC coming out soon. You're going to see all types of stuff. You have to stop falling for it. Stick to regular cannabis, or if you're watching this and you're struggling with an addiction, watch my videos on quitting weed. Learn how to quit because this doesn't end well for you or for Delta 8. I think there's benefit, but not like this. Not like this. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Follow me into my other video where I rant more about Delta 8 and go a little less on a rant, but a little more into the specifics about it. I'll see you guys there.